Hi, everybody. It's your podcast, Sista Lisa, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio. If you like to discover new music, then you've come to the right place. This is where you'll meet singers, songwriters, and musicians who are living the dream and talking about it on Podcast Sista. On today's show, I will be interviewing the talented country pop artist Emily Brooke from Nashville. Emily has released a new album titled All of the Pieces, featuring 8 tracks, which will take you on an emotional journey of the ups and downs of falling in and out of love. Her style is sweet and sassy, but one thing's for sure, she writes from the heart and sings from the soul. Stay tuned and let's talk music. Welcome, Emily. Thank you for joining me on today's podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
This is an exciting interview for me. I've been looking forward to it and did a lot of research and reading up on your career, which has spanned, I think, a little over 10 years, and you're only 26 years old. What age did you get into music?
I started taking guitar lessons when I was 9 years old, and I played my first show when I was 10. So I guess it's been like 15, 16 years now. It's crazy.
It is. And one of the things that stuck out in my mind when I was reading about you, you have an amazing voice and your songwriting is
Oh, thank you.
terrific. But also, you are so hardworking. And your hard work in all this time, even starting at a young age, really paid off. And I wanted to say congratulations on over 30 songs that you've released.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
and your performance schedule is jam-packed. You even did a concert tour in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Then, on top of all that, congratulations to you on accumulating millions of all-time plays and streams to date.
Thank you. Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, I want to make sure the listeners and your fans know that, that's a lot of hard work. What motivates you to accomplish these things and keep going?
I would say since I have been doing it for a long time, I've had a lot of different jobs and like odd jobs to help keep me going, like with financially, whatever, when times I wasn't making really any money from music besides from shows. And so I've done like the service industry and like I've been a med spa receptionist, I've been like in retail, all the things, and like nothing brings me the same joy as being on stage and doing music. And so whenever I kind of feel stressed or down or whatever, I always think about how like I can't imagine doing anything else. Like I feel like I'm meant to do this because I've worked in a bunch of different types of fields that I've just am like nothing's brought me the same joy as this does, and I love doing it, and it's so much fun. And so that's kind of like what keeps me going, is just reminding myself and remembering that feeling.
Well, that's terrific. And I was looking too at the bio, and I think Destiny, and I say this every show practically, if you're listening, you've heard me say this
Yeah.
before. Destiny came into play as early as I want to say 10 years old, when you and your family went to Nashville and you waited in line for a special guest in Nashville. And I don't want to spoil it. I want you to tell it. Tell us about that time of your life and what was that like for you?
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So it was the first trip that my family and we went to Nashville, and I just started music, and everybody was like, you got to take her to Nashville. It's the place to be, whatever, all that. And so we went during CMA Fest, which was fanfare back then. And they had the old convention center, which used to be what is Fifth and Broadway now, but it used to be a convention center, and they tore it all down. But um, how it used to go was you could just like wait in line. You didn't need like all these crazy different types of passes to meet certain people, and like it was a lot simpler back then. But there was an artist the next day and she was like the reason that I really wanted to start taking guitar lessons was because she was a female close to my age that played guitar, and I thought that was really cool. And so um, my mom, we were like, let's just drive past the convention center and let's see if there's a line that started because she was having a meet and greet the next day. And we drove by, and there was probably already like 80 people in line at 6 o'clock the night before. So my mom was like, what do you want to do, Em? Like, do you really want to meet her? And it was Taylor Swift.
Oh my God.
So I was like, I mean, yeah, I really do. And so my parents are super supportive. And so my mom and I got out, we got in line, and then my dad and my brother went to Walmart and got us like pool floaties to chill on throughout the night. And we camped out to meet Taylor Swift. And I had my guitar with me because I was going to get my guitar signed. And someone that was passing out magazines throughout the line, it was like a Taylor Swift magazine, saw my guitar and was like, you have to play for it, like play a song, like play a Taylor song for the Taylor magazine. And so I did, and then that turned into like people pulling me all over the line to be like, oh, I want you to play for my friends, come play over here, play for my mom. And so I ended up singing like all night. And the next morning, one of the girls that was in front of us in line, her name was Kayla, she told Taylor's mom about that and, how I had been, quote, entertaining everybody. And so Taylor's mom asked me because I met Taylor, and then you walked like 6 feet, and that's where Andrea was. So met Andrea, and she asked me to play a song for her. So I ended up playing Fearless by Taylor Swift. And it was so cool, so crazy.
That is an amazing story. One that
Thanks.
you'll reflect on, I'm sure, for the rest of your life. And I think, too, that another part of destiny in your young age, which is very unusual, you had such big, significant moments early on. And the next one that I read was when you were 13, about 13, and you were back in Nashville again, and you were playing at a bar and grill, and you were discovered. Tell us about that experience and how that time and who you met has helped you become the artist you are today.
Yes, so I was actually I think I was 11 um, when I first met Billy. I was playing at Rippy's, and it's like a bar that's on Broadway, and it was totally random too. One of my the friends that I had met, she was probably like in her mid 20s when I was like 11. But she was always super sweet whenever I came to town, and so she pulled me up to play a few songs, and he was just like walking down Broadway, heard me singing but didn't see me, like didn't know what I looked like, walked in and was expecting, in his words, to see some like 30-year-old grown woman singing, and it was like me, 11 years old, with like a blonde bob haircut. And it was so funny. But so yeah, he was like my first co-writer, um, and he helped me put together my first album, and he produced it. And I released that album when I was 13 with Billy Yates, and it was really awesome. He really took me under his wing, I feel like, and like he had me play his Country Used to Know the Country show every CMA Fest, and he would have just like so many icons on the show, like Colin Ray and Daryl Worley, and so it was a really awesome experience to be able to be in that so young, and the fact that he believed in me to have me be a part of that was really amazing. And he's just such a great guy. So I feel very, very blessed, very thankful to have gotten to meet him so young because he truly helped so much with just helping me figure out, you know, how to do an album and co-writing and because he's written hits like Don't Need No Rocking Chair by George Jones, and the fact that he was, yeah, I'll write with you when I was 12 years old was just really cool. So he's truly an awesome, awesome person.
Well, that's terrific. Again, you were 13 and released your first album. Amazing. Uh,
Thanks.
the last significant moment I want to talk about when you were younger before we get into your new album is the fact that you auditioned for American Idol at the age of 15. And if you could tell us about that experience and what you learned from it.
Ooh. It was a very, I feel like a big growing experience for me in my confidence for sure as like starting so young. Um, so the first season that I was on, I made top 48, and then um, one of their notes or tips like to work on was like working the stage and working on stage presence without a guitar, like working with a band and stuff. And so that year I came off of the show when I was 15. I just took that advice and ran with it. And I did, I want to say about 200 shows that year with a band, just working on that exactly. Just like, okay, with the guitar, really getting into it, but also like working a stage and not feeling so attached to my guitar. So that was huge. And I feel like that helped me a lot because when I came back, they noticed the difference. And when I came back when I was 16, then I made top 24. And just the exposure from the show was really awesome. And I was very fortunate that they gave me a lot of airtime. And so uh, my like local hometown radio station had me come and do some really cool shows. And it definitely gave me more of a platform to be able to have even more cool opportunities. So it was really great in that aspect. I would say the other part of it is also like there's definitely parts of it where it's still a TV show, you know?
Right.
And there's like politics involved and it's not there's always something going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. So um I got very fortunate that they aired a lot of my stuff. Just, you know.
Yeah, and I saw, I think, the audition for the second time when you actually made top 24. And when you were talking to the judges and explaining, we're coming back, and the determination on your face, and you're what, like 16 years old, and the toughness of, that you've earned at least to be heard one more time, and in a professional way, but I mean, you don't seem to crumble easily. I mean, you're a tough cookie, that's for sure, and I
Oh,
admire that.
thanks.
Um, and
Thank you.
and you are the whole entire package, talented and
Oh,
tough and a smart woman, and it's such a pleasure to talk with you and have our listeners find out more about you, because you really, truly are a role model in many ways.
this is so sweet. Thank you so much. That is so kind.
Well, it's true. It really is, Emily. And
Oh,
um, I want to take this time to kick off the podcast because we're going to switch gears and talk about your new album. I'm going to play snippet number 1, When It's Raining, from your new album, All of the Pieces. And when we come back, let's talk more music.
yeah.
a sunny day in LA, but your face, it doesn't fade. Got me wasting precious time. Should be out here feeling fine. The sky here is always blue. Can't see the colors when it comes to you. Clouded up my mind, it gets me every time. I only miss you when it's raining. Almost enjoy the pain it's taking. Every part of me you touched is aching. Our love record keeps replaying the lies you sell. I'm buying, but when I see your face, I can't fight it. Sinking into my heart and soul, I gotta let you go. Why do I miss you when it's raining?
I love that song, Emily. Tell us about your new album and where did you get the name All of the Pieces?
Oh, I was going back and forth on a couple names for a bit, and then I think I was just having a conversation with a friend, just kind of like brainstorming and talking out loud. And I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of in between this title and this title, or even, I don't know, maybe this. And I was like, wait, I kind of like that. And it was All of the Pieces. And I've been wanting to put out a new album for a long time, and a lot of my fans have been asking for a new album as well, because I hadn't put out a project since, I mean, I've released singles and stuff over the years, but I haven't actually put out like an EP or an album since I was, I want to say 18 or 19. So doing this, I had always wanted an album when I was dating that I could just go listen to that would take me through each feeling, from when you first see them, when you start falling for them, when you think that it's, oh, this could be the one, and then the heartbreak of it all. And so with the 8 songs, it's all of the pieces of a love story of like the falling in and falling out and all of the pieces in between. So, yeah, there's 8 songs on the album, and it's really exciting to have it out because I feel like I wasn't the only one that has always wanted like something like this, and it just kind of happened randomly where over the years of writing I realized I had a lot of the songs that I needed to do it. So I think we only wrote 1 or 2 songs specifically for the project, and other than that, it just kind of all fell together. So it was really cool.
Yeah. And you came up with the unplugged concept not only for the album and the title, but for your videos. Did you
Yes.
have part of that creation of the videos? And I encourage everyone listening to check out Emily Brooke's videos for her new album. Did you have play a part in that concept?
Thank you. Yes, I did. So being independent, because I'm not signed to a label or management or anything right now. And so being independent, I really like to like think everything out. And that also being the case is cost efficiency too. So going back to when I first started doing music, I was posting, little YouTube covers pretty frequently, and I gained like a good bit of following of fans all over the world from posting those YouTube covers, just acoustic in my bedroom. And so my music that I'm working on that's going to be in 2025 has a little bit of a different sound to it, where it's like a little bit more country rock, like I want to say like Jason Aldean country rock type of thing. And so before doing that, I really just wanted to strip back everything. And especially with it being such an emotional album of 8 different emotions, I thought that doing it acoustic would really be able to convey that really well. And so just decided, since we were doing it acoustic, we might as well film it at the same time and get the content from that. And so um, it ended up working out really great. We, recorded and filmed at the same time. And so that made that really cost effective while also accomplishing the goal of just having a really stripped back, emotional album.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And name the two musicians that were accompanying you on the videos.
Yeah, my acoustic guitarist is Jesse Devine, and then my cajon player is Danny Johns, and they're both in Nashville, and they're amazing, amazing guys. I work with them a lot, and so it was awesome getting to have them play on the project.
Yes, really enjoyed the album and watching the videos. And I want to play snippet number 2 from your album, and the song is Last to Know. And when we come back, let's talk about this song.
I wish I didn't know you so well. I can hear the thoughts you keep to yourself. The way that your keys unlock the door. The little extra whiskey that you pour. We used to kiss straight till sunrise. Park 4 hours out in the drive. If I told my friends, they'd say I'm crazy. But something feels different about you, baby. Blame it on my intuition. I can tell that something's missing. I wish it wasn't so obvious to me. Got a sixth sense, you're about to leave. Your body language is speaking the truth. And if I could, I would lie to you. But once it's there, I can't ignore it. Gonna say if I was, maybe we'd have 3 more weeks of you waking up right there next to me. Oh, but I know that something's wrong. Oh, yeah, I just can't shake it off. Blame it on my...
What a great song, Emily. What inspired you to write this song?
So when we were looking at the album, I wrote this one a couple years ago. I want to say like 3 years ago. It was kind of in the general headspace because I'd been thinking on this idea for a while. But in the room, we were just throwing out a bunch of different ideas of, what should we write about today? And Tori, who's one of the writers on this song, she had a title of I Wish I Was the Last to Know. And I thought that was really cool because a lot of the times, if you can sense something coming, I know there's obviously I've been in a relationship before where I could sense that something was off and I just was like, oh, this is driving me crazy. It feels like there's something wrong. So I want to just enjoy it while it lasts and just ignore it. You wish you were the last to know. You wish you didn't see it coming. You wish you didn't, sense that something was different. And so I think it's a really cool, vulnerable thought. And I love that we were able to convey that feeling into a song because I think it's just really real. So I really love that one.
Yeah, and I'm sure this song, as well as the entire album, resonates for listeners because, we all go through the ups and downs in, love and relationships. I mean, we're human and it's just a part of life. And I'm sure, you give comfort to those, that need it through this album, and also those that are in that beginning phases of the excitement, and you capture that as well. And I'm looking forward to hearing your next releases in 2025, like you mentioned. And I'd love to have you back on the show. And
I would love that.
yeah, and I'm going to just ask if you could let our listeners know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah. You can find me at Emily Brooke or Emily Brooke Music, basically anywhere and anything. Brooke is with an E on the end, so don't forget that. But yeah, Emily Brooke on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok is Emily Brooke Music. And I also have a fan page on Facebook that's Emily Brooke Music. And you can find me by Emily Brooke on all streaming platforms to check out all of the pieces.
And I encourage everyone listening to download Emily Brooks music and add it to your collection. And I want to close out the show for our listeners to get a taste of your song, Not Yet, another great hit on your album, All of the Pieces. And again, thank you, Emily, for joining me on today's podcast. And
Thank you so much for having me.
oh, this has been fabulous. And
Yeah, you're great.
oh,
You're just
thank
awesome.
you. And I also
Yeah.
want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe to Podcast Sista. Now, everyone, enjoy this final song snippet, Not Yet, by Emily Brooke from her new album, All of the Pieces. And that's a wrap.
Thanks, guys.